What was more encouraging about Saturday? The way that you guys looked or getting the result?
Both. It was a huge result. It was almost at that stage where it didn't matter how we played as long as we got the result. But I think the performance was excellent. To go behind as well showed great character. But for me, it was the energy we showed. Everyone was talking. There was a real hunger to win the game. And listen, that's not easy when you're under a lot of pressure. But the way the lads reacted, it was good to see, and I think it was against arguably the best side in the league. So that was even more promising.
It seemed like not having Nate in there had maybe let some of the spaces be a little bit more open. Dean kind of downplayed a little bit of a subtle tweak, you guys playing a little wider. How much more covered did things feel on Saturday?
I think it was just getting back to basics. It was we looked more compact. We've watched videos from the games where we lost, and it looked like we got stretched at times. But I thought the weekend it was back to what Charlotte is. It was compact and hitting teams on the counter attack, and the game plan worked perfect. Listen, Nate's the top player. He's arguably the best right back in the league. So, but Nick's come in. Nick's been fantastic. You wouldn't know it was his first season playing regular football. So he's done an incredible job, and he's only going to get better as well. So it's good for these young lads to be thrown at the deep end, and Nick certainly holding his hold at the minute.
New York has a very identifiable style. You've been here a while. What makes them so difficult to play against?
Especially at their place. Listen, it's 100 miles an hour. They come on the high press. They make it frantic. So we've done that. We've been there a few times. So it's up to us to sometimes kill the game and manage the game in the right way. And we'll go and put our mark on it, and hopefully we can get a result.
Does it feel like the light is at the end of the tunnel here at the end of May? You get a little bit of a break after this, but you obviously have to keep the intensity up for 2 more contests in May. Yeah,
it's been a real tough month. I think it's been overlooked a bit, but we do what we do. We get on with it. It feels like our bags have not been unpacked. We've put them in the wash. We put them back in the suitcase, and we travel again. So it's that's the schedule we've been given. But hopefully we can come through this just within touching distance, and then give it a real good push after the run.
Steve, through the period of losses and stuff, after the games, it's short memory, looking on to the next one and stuff was constantly the refrain from everybody. But when you mentioned pressure, where was the pressure? You were talking about the pressure from this match from Columbus, or just the building pressure of not having gotten a result?
Yeah, it's the building pressure. Listen, I don't know how many games it was, but if you go that many games without a win, you start to put pressure on yourself as well, not just the outside noise. So it was a huge game, especially at home as well, where we haven't had many home games. Obviously, the New England game was disappointing. The Chicago result was not like us, and to put that right against the top side was what was needed. But there's gonna be more runs, I'm sure, of where you don't win games. So it's about staying consistent. We knew we were playing well. We were playing very well. So we were probably playing better in the run that we were losing than we were at the start of the season. So it wasn't a stage to get too worried about how we were doing. We knew we kept doing the right things, then we'd turn it around, and hopefully we have done that.
Was that a different kind of frustration then, that you were playing well but just not converting?
Yeah, but listen, that's football. You're not going to convert every chance. The main thing as footballers is if you're creating chances. I think we'd be a lot more worried if we were getting beaten and not having any opportunities to win the game. So we knew we weren't far off it, and like I said, it was just tweaking little things, getting back to basics, and all of a sudden we've got a great result.
That was a cracker of a shot you had in the match. Great save by the keeper, but is there, when you hit a ball that well, do you get that inner feeling of that, does the endorphins of of just, that was sweet, like a great golf shot?
I'd prefer to hit a nice golf shot. But no, it was, I made a long run. I think it was Pat who picked me out. I thought I could have played Leal at the time, but I thought the defender blocked him off. It looked at the time that he blocked him off, so I've tried to give the goalkeeper the eyes go that way and then reverse it back. So, but he read it. It was a good save. I think it was at a nice height for the goalkeeper. That was the most disappointing thing.
With Shaquille, do you think with his quickness and his, desire to get up, that he can kind of provide what Nathan was on the right, on the left?
Yeah, and I think Jax is played a lot of games for his age as well, which is not normal in America. So he's a great lad. He's settled in straight away, and yeah, we know what he did. He's played against us at Montreal. He caused us a lot of problems when we played against him. So we know what he is. He's very similar to Nath. But listen, he's playing on the left side, and you wouldn't know he's on the wrong side. So that's testament to what he is, what his ability and his mindset. He's a real great lad, and like I said, he's settled in straight away, and he's certainly helping us at the minute.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning.
Hey.
I'm good.
Dean said that he heard y'all the team communicating better on the field this past game. Is that something that y'all consciously discussed prior to the game?
No, it's something we always ask of the lads, even whether that be in training. But no, it was just it had a great feel on Saturday. I mean, there was a real fight there. There was a real hunger to win the game, and it was a big performance. And when you need big performances, you need the players to stand up, and we certainly did that. So, yeah, the energy was there. Everyone was vocal, and it's time to do that again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Carol?
Wilf's vision, we saw his passing on Saturday. How good can that be for you guys, that kind of vision?
It's no surprise for me. I've known Will for almost 15 years now, and listen, it's not easy. He had a stop-start pre-season. He had to go back. His wife gave birth, and then he had to go back again to see the baby. So it's not easy. He had a stop-start, and we did a session on Wednesday, me and Wilf, with one of the staff, and he looked hungry on Wednesday. He looked like he was ready to go, and I went home and said Wilf's going to be a problem on Saturday, and he proved me right. And them passes for me that's what Wilf does. So now I expect more of the same from Wilf.
Just working on passes and runs and things? What you say your workout with him?
It was just, he looked fit. He looked hungry, and his ability's always been there. And he looked like he's finding his stride now. And you saw that on Saturday. I think it was he looked a real threat, even when he had 3 men on him. And I think Pat's obviously getting used to what Wilf can do. Wilf's getting used to Pat's runs, so these things take time. But I thought you saw all the front four on Saturday. They just clicked, and Pep's been outstanding. He's got a great goal. So yeah, we're heading in the right direction.
The gaffer last week stood here and said, Wilf's getting a hard time from the pass from Deani getting on him. He's like, well, Ashley said something to Pat. Were you like, hey, wait a minute? Was he accurate? Was that fair to say Wilf's been taking some unnecessary heat, or?
Yeah, it is. Obviously, he's our big player, so that comes with pressure. It's going to come. People are going to criticise him, but that's Wilf's a top player that's been used to this, so it doesn't affect Wilf. He gets on with it. He knows what he is. Yeah, well, if you probably speak to any of the lads, I'm the biggest moaner in here. So it's what us English do, and I think it's because we care. We care, and we want to help these boys get better. So sometimes we don't show it in the right way. Maybe there's a way we can do it more subtle, but that's just how we are. Me and Wilf are very similar. We want to win, and sometimes we can show our frustrations.
Daniel. Hey Ashley, I just want to dig a little deeper into the fight, the frustration, the hunger from the other night that you talked about here today, and that feeling of playing well, not getting results, and then you're playing well against Columbus, the best team in the league, and then they score against the run of play. You're down 1-0 at home all of a sudden when you've been given all this effort. did something crystallize in that moment when you go down at home that you guys just refused to lose and said, it doesn't matter what happens, we are not losing this match?
Yeah, and it could have quite easily gone the other way. We conceded the goal. We could have quite easily folded, but it shows the character we've got in here. It shows how much this group of players care for this football club. And we didn't want to go another defeat at home. We've fought hard to create a connection with the fans, which I think we've got. And we owe it to them to protect the fortress again. And that is deep down in our mentality. We want to have the best record at home. And you showed a real fight. You saw a real fight of a group of players that didn't want that to happen. And I think to come from behind is the best way to win a football match.
We'll conclude with Jorge.
You touched on it a little bit, but you said it takes time for the chemistry to build, especially up top, and we saw a lot of that this weekend with Pat, Biel, Zaha specifically. Is it a time thing or is it like a click thing? Is that something that you're seeing? Like obviously you talked about Zaha training last week with you, and so are you noticing that from all of those players, especially up top?
Yeah, I think it showed on Saturday. There was a connection there, and it does take time. Things don't happen overnight. It took me, going back to my first year, it took me probably half a season to get into the run of it, and it's not easy moving to a different country. I've criticised players coming over to England, and it's like, why they're not settling in, but it's hard. People forget you've moved your family, you're in a complete different culture, so things do take time. But I think on Saturday was a real promising sign of things to come. And like I said, Pep's flourished this year. It took him time last year, and with that it comes connections in training. We've not had time to train really with the run of games, so get out of this run. Use the next few weeks to focus on training, and like I said, I think coming out the back of the break we'll start seeing what this Charlotte team can really do.
You kind of had a similar spell like this last year, where there was like, I think when Biel came in, Swiderski, Tim Reed, and kind of had a negative spell, were able to turn it around. Is that something that you guys think about as well? Like, okay, well, we just got a positive result, let's build on it.
Yeah, we don't think about. We try and stay in this room. We try and stay at a level feeling. I go back to it. We were playing very well. We were creating chances. We weren't quite putting them chances away. So we knew we weren't far off it. So it's not about getting. We weren't panicking. We knew what we were doing. And like you said, we managed to get a great result against Columbus. We've got 2 more away games to come. So we're not out of it yet. We still want to go and put ourselves in a great position come the end of May and beginning of June, and hopefully give ourselves the back end of the season to make a real run. And we want to make top 4.
Nice, and not having Brant Bronico Wednesday, a guy that you spend a lot of time in the midfield with, does a lot of running as well. How important is he to the chemistry that you've built with him? Yeah,
he's a big loss, and that's what it is. It's about creating partnerships and pairings, and me and Bibi have done that. He's been phenomenal. He's great to play with. But we're lucky in midfield. We've got a lot of cover. We've got a lot of good players. So whoever the manager picks, I'm sure it's up to them to take that spot and try and keep Bibi out of the team. That's the nature of football. But yeah, for me, Bibi's a big loss. His energy is not only. He's overlooked, Bibi. He's very good on the ball as well, and he's added that part to his game. So he's turned into an all-round midfielder. So to lose a player like that, it's a big loss, but it gives someone else the opportunity to take that spot.
Ashley, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.